This 6'11" Demigod ISO build can shoot from half court at will. It gets driving contact dunks over the best shot blockers. It also gets standing contact dunks over anyone that sits in the paint. It's a shot blocking machine that grabs rebounds over centers while being the best passer on the court the entire time with a 96 pass accuracy. This build is also no slouch on defense as it gets crazy lanes with a 6'11" wingspan and is still able to pull up from deep right after. This build will have your opponent scared before the game even starts with 790 or above attributes that just puts fear in the opponent's heart. This 6'11" can shoot right over the top of any defender that's shorter than him and dominate centers on the perimeter as they have no chance of guarding you out here. This build can also get Giannis crossover, which is the best crossover in the game, and able to just pull up and shoot while the cover is wide open even with someone there. And when in doubt, just shoot it when someone's there anyway. Now enough talking. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make the build, where to put the cap breakers, the best dribble moves, the best dunks, the best motion style, the best badge setup, and even 2 alternative builds depending on your playstyle. Stick with me through the whole video and you'll be ready to dominate on a 6'11" build in no time. Let's get into it.
He's quicker than I am, but I believe I'm faster than he is, or was at one time. I'm still pretty fast.
What's good, YouTube? It's J-Wall. 2 quick background of the video. Real quick, before I get to this video, I do want to let my supporters know I am giving away an Xbox or PSN card, whatever the winner's choice is, prior to Christmas. So to enter the giveaway, comment Demigod on the video. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I will be picking a winner before Christmas, and I'll reach out to you on your comment on the video. Without further ado, let's get into the 6'11" demon. So let's get into the build. First things first, you're going to want to make the position a power forward. You're going to want to go 6'11" and 212 on the weight. Now, 2 very important things you cannot mess up on this build. The weight has to be 212 pounds. This will give you the highest speed and agility on this build that you can possibly have, along with having the 68 speed with ball, which you need for lightning launch on bronze, which is a tier 2 badge, as you can see, and you can +2 this to gold lightning launch on a 6'11", which will allow you to move how I was moving in the clips that I previously showed. You also get access to a 75 ball handle, which will unlock all the dribble moves you will need to dribble on a 6'11". Also, with the 6'11" wingspan, you need this to have a 91 3-pointer. This 90+ 3-pointer will allow you to get deep bomber takeover, which is by far and away the best takeover in the game, and you need this on this build to make this build absolutely overpowered. So please make sure if you do anything or change anything, do not change the weight or wingspan. Let's move on to the build. So getting right into the build, the first thing we're going to do is upgrade close shot. Now, close shot is you're going to go all the way up to an 86. This is for that gold float game badge. Floaters are very good on this game. However, they did get a little bit of a nerf, but they're very good just to have in your bag, just to randomly throw up a floater when someone's sitting paint or someone's running a zone and wreck. Having that in your bag just catches people off guard, or if they're playing the drive every time, just catches people off guard. So it's really good to have in your bag. Moving on to layup, I went all the way to a 90 layup on this build. You don't get anything for this right now. However, you do set yourself up in the future for 3 cap breakers to get layup mixmaster on gold. Now, you could lower this if you want to on your build, but I'm just showing you how I made this build super OP and how it is just an offensive juggernaut. So moving on to the driving dunk, I went with the 87 driving dunk. This is going to give you contact dunks, driving contact dunks on this 6'11" build. They're very overpowered. It seems like taller builds dunk better than smaller builds, just like how it was last year. So it is very overpowered. Moving on to the standing dunk, I even get contact standing dunks on here. I get a 90 standing dunk on this build, which gives me gold rise up and the access to all the standing dunks in the game. A 90 standing dunk. So moving on to the post control, I did not upgrade post control on this build. Now, if you want to make like a Dirk Nowitzki, type of version of this build, feel free. I am purely ISOing on this build, so I did not do this. However, if that's something you guys want to do, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Definitely check that out if that's what you want to do. Moving on to the mid range, I'm going to go with a 91 mid range. Now, I am going to put 1 cap breaker on this, which is actually a +2 on a 6'11". That will give me 93 mid range and the ability to get Hall of Fame set shot specialist off rip on the build without any +1s or anything. And eventually you can +1 that to legend set shot specialist on this build. And legend set shot on this build is absolutely unreal. You make pretty much every open shot. It is pretty much a user error every time if you're missing. So the glitchiest part about this build, the 3-pointer is going to go up to a 61. Now 61 obviously looks terrible right now, but you're going to put 5 cap breakers on this, and it's going to take the shooting all the way up to a 91 3-pointer. Yes, just with 5 cap breakers. Now that makes this build so crazy because you have so much room for so many other attributes. So that is why I did that on this build. And Deep Bomber Takeover is, again, by far and away the best takeover in the game. So moving on to free throw. So free throw, we went ahead and went with a 93 free throw. I want to be able to make all my free throws. I want to be the person that's shooting the free throws when there's a, you know, a foul on the unintentional foul in the court or a transition foul. I want to make sure I'm the one shooting the free throws. So let's move on to the pass accuracy. Now, I know a lot of people are making these 6'11 builds with low pass accuracy, but in my opinion, one of the best things about this build is the ability to get super high pass accuracy for super cheap. So I went all the way up to a 94 pass accuracy on this build. Yes, you can lower the pass accuracy, but there's not a lot that you can gain. Maybe if you want to get a little more strength or a little more O-board, or even if you want to touch that post control, you can do that. But I eventually am going to have a 99 pass accuracy on this build by putting 5 cap breakers here. And passing with a 90 plus rating, coming from having a 76 rating, is just night and day. Obviously, I would like to have the break starter on Hall of Fame, which really makes your passes real crisp. You can just throw the ball all the way down the court, and it just gets your teammates easy buckets and allows for you to run up the score really easily. You know, I don't even think it's worth going in the rec center without a big that has at least 93 pass accuracy. So now even our power forward, which is me, has 93 as well. So we have 2 people throwing breaks that are super accurate with their passes, and it just makes the game run a lot smoother. This game does have tiers and dribbling, just like how 2K20 had, where there's like tier 2 and tier 3 momentum crossovers like Mike Wang talked about before the game. So I run this ball handle as high as I possibly can. So when I use my ball handle takeover, or if I'm running just speed ball takeover, my ball handle is as high as possible. So I would suggest doing the same. If you want to save some attributes, you could go down to like a 73, I believe, and still get all the dribble moves, but I went ahead and maxed it out just so I'm at my full potential with dribbling. For speed ball, I went all the way up to a 68. Again, this is going to unlock that lightning launch, which is a tier 2 badge, and you can +2 this all the way to gold, which makes this very overpowered on a 6'11 build. You're able to move quite fast. Interior defense, I went with a 70 interior defense. Now this does have some nice pluses on the cap breakers, some +2s and +3s, so you can plus this later on if you're not comfortable, or if you want to have it higher in the future, you can. But for me, I feel like 70 is all I need. You know, I have ones with higher interior defense and it doesn't feel any different. Again, I have 3 of these builds, so I just made this build based off my experience with my other 2 builds that I will show you, you know, for those of you that want higher interior, higher strength, or higher post control. But I'm just showing you what I feel like has been working the best for me. So moving on to perimeter defense, I went ahead with a 77 perimeter and maxed that out. Obviously, you don't get anything for the 77 perimeter, but just having it maxed, and you also can get challenger on this build, so you can plus that challenger up to silver. And also 6'11s, it has been proven by 2K Labs, get the best contests out of any height. So as you'll see with my vertical here soon and my block rating, me jumping at people, I'm getting some of the best contests I've gotten over any build that I have. It gets way better contests than my 6'8 or 6'9 builds. So I really enjoy that on this build, and it really helps out with you being able to guard 1 through 5 on defense and just be a switchable person around screens. For steal, I went with a 60 steal. Now this does have 1 cap breaker that gives me all the way up to a 67 steal, so I did put a cap breaker on the steal. And honestly, I have no problem getting lanes, just being because of I have a nice wingspan, a 6'11 wingspan. You know, you're able to just get in those passing lanes, and as long as you time it correctly, you definitely can get lane steals. I get plenty of steals, and as I showed in some of the clips in the beginning of this video. Moving on to block, I went all the way to an 85 block. Now, if you really want to get cheesy, you could go 83 block and put 5 cap breakers on it to get the 88 block for gold high flying denier. However, I personally didn't have that many cap breakers at the time, so I went with 85 so I can +3 this and get to an 88 block. And eventually I might even go all the way up to 90 block, just because, you know, sometimes 2K has those secret thresholds at certain ratings. So that's what I went. This build gets more blocks than any build that I have. Blocking on a 6'11 is actually very good. You know, 6'8, 6'7s, I don't know what it is, but it just seems like they whiff so many blocks. But this build, I get more blocks on this build than any build that I have any other height. So I definitely suggest, if you're not blocking shots and it's frustrating you, make a 6'11 with high block. I promise you that will change. Moving on to the rebounding, I went with an 80 defensive rebound. This is going to give me silver rebound chaser, and I also have silver box out beast. Again, rebounding is not tied to strength this year, so rebounding is a tier 1 badge for me, but I can +2 it and get this on Hall of Fame. So that is what I went with. For the offensive rebound, I did not touch it because offensive rebound and strength are the highest rated attributes on this build, other than like 3-pointer. So I did not touch those attributes, being that, you know, I've made some other ones with different ratings, and I just found that 55 seems to be fine for me. I'm not really crashing in for O-boards a lot. I'm more of the person leaking out trying to get 3s while my center crashes, or even in park, I have no problem, you know, grabbing the defensive rebound. I'm not really crashing in to get O-boards too much because I'm normally the person isoing. So if that's something you guys want to change, you know, you definitely can add more O-board, maybe drop the pass, drop the layup, something like that, if that's something you want to do. But for me, this is what I went with. So for speed, I went all the way up to a 79 speed, and I went max out my agility at a 73 agility. This build moves really good on defense, especially when you get two-way. You know, if you get two-way, you're pretty much a 6'11", you know, with plus 15 to your speed and plus 15 to your agility, which is absolutely crazy. And you move really good. I feel comfortable guarding 1 through 5 with no problem. For my strength, I did not touch strength. This is controversial. Now I will show you guys 2 other builds that I made that do have strength. I have 2 6'11s that I actually made and put my own money on that do have strength. And honestly, if you want my honest opinion, it doesn't seem any different than having no strength. Okay, I know that sounds crazy, but that's just how I honestly feel. I'm not saying anybody's beliefs are incorrect. So if you feel like strength matters to you, definitely make one of the other ones I'm gonna show you. I have, if you want to get real glitchy and have a ton of attributes, I would say ditch the strength, man. Especially for the way you're playing in this build. It's kind of like an ISO stretch big. You know, you don't really need it. I still can box out because my box out beast isn't affected. I can +1 my box out or even +2 it. And you know, I haven't been having a problem. And part of that is due to this 90 vertical that I have. I have a 90 vertical. I do get legend pogo stick from this. And also, as you guys can see, my high flying denier will go up to gold once you cap break that block. But 90 vertical helps me just completely snag on this build. And here's the final build. This build is an absolute juggernaut on offense, and on defense it is an amazing shot blocker and able to switch 1 through 5 and be super versatile with the 90 vertical by getting hella rebounds and able to just switch everything. So I love this build so much. Let's go ahead and get into the badges. As you can see, here are my +1. So I do +1 my set shot, my dead eye, my lightning launch, my handles for days, paint controller, and rebound chaser. You know, you can switch out the paint controller with box out beast if you want, you know, if you're looking to play more of a center role in the park. But this build is just crazy, man. Look at the Hall of Fame and legend badges and all the gold badges. Also, I'm missing my shooting specialization, so eventually I'll be able to move that dead eye over there, and I could even put my shifty shooter all the way up to Hall of Fame as well on the build. So this is the badges that I use and the best badge setup I like to run, and I would suggest doing the same. If you have shooting specialization, I definitely would use shooting specialization on this build. Here's my animations. Now, some very important animations you're going to want to use on this build is that Pablo Banchero dribble pull-up. Is a lot better than using normal 2, so definitely check that out. I love De'Aaron style, De'Aaron Fox pass style as well. That is a great pass style. See, the normal 2 hop jumper, you're able to kind of, you know, just speed boost out of it. Bam Adebayo floater is also a must. Pro step back and KD Hezi are must, and Giannis crossover, which is a starter 4 animation, is very good. If you don't have that, use, I believe it's Pro 2. So check that out as well. And getting into the jump shot, here is my old faithful. I've been using this jump shot since the game came out, and it turns out it's one of the best jump shots in the game. Michael Porter Jr., Baluba, and Charles Bassey. I play on push with max release speed, 55% towards Baluba. Here's a quick look at all my dunks. You know, I run all the standing dunks. You can pause the video if you need to get each exact dunk, but this 90 stand dunk is definitely the move. I do run Dwight Howard, Scottie Pippen, and Draymond dunks. I'm not a big fan of the LeBron dunk. It gets blocked too much with that stupid cockback that he has. And also I do run a good amount of alley-oops, and I have contact alley-oops as well. And you see I have off 2 contact dunks. Definitely check these dunks out. You will not be getting blocked if you put on those dunks. And that'll do it for the 6'11 Demigod ISO build. But speaking of Demigod builds, check these 2 videos out on the screen if you're looking for a build that was actually banned, or if you're looking for a build that has 93 block that's still a 6'11". Appreciate y'all boys tuning in, and I'm out, man.